Join me on a journey to embrace your Kavela life. So coming into our Yin practice, starting in child's pose. Maybe just take a moment here to notice if you're feeling any tension and resistance in the body. And just push the breath to those areas of the body that need a little extra attention, extra love today. And from here, let's extend the arms forward, coming into your extended child's pose. Taking the knees as wide as you need to be comfortable here. Start to widen the arms, spread the fingers. Maybe that forehead touches, stimulating that third eye, the eye of intuition. Knowing yourself, trusting yourself on the mat and in life. Let's start to walk the hands over to the right side, coming off the mat with both palms. Just taking a little side body stretch here. And then let's walk the hands back through center, take them over to the left. Both palms walk off the mat. Feel that right side body stretch. Use your breath, stay with your breath. And coming back to center, walk those hands in. And inhale, let's float up to our tabletop position. So coming into tabletop, stack the shoulders over the wrists, hips over the knees. Let's flow through a couple of cat-cows here, tucking the toes, gaze up, lift the chest, stay nice and lifted. And then exhale around, coming into cat. Inhale, just flow here at your own pace with your own breath. And taking one more last full round before making your way to your neutral spine. And moving into our next Yin posture, we're going to come into our melting heart, working on the upper body, the shoulders. So maybe move slightly towards the back of your mat if you need to. Starting with the hips stacked over the knees, shoulders stacked over the wrists. Relax the feet. Start to walk the palms forward. Keeping the hips stacked over the knees. Walk those palms out as far as you can. Keeping the elbows and forearms off the ground if you can. And slowly start to let the chest melt down towards the ground. resting the forehead or keeping the gaze straight ahead, lowering the chin towards the mat. And just feel that stretch in the shoulders, remembering to ease into each pose, move slowly. Don't dive real deep. Just slowly find that edge, and when you find it, just hold and breathe. Allow the body to do its magic here, creating space. Taking one more deep breath in, and exhale, maybe go a little deeper. And then we're going to release out of the pose. So lowering the forearms, the elbows, sliding the body forward, coming to lie on the belly. Let's take the arms alongside the body, palms facing up. And turn your head to the right, resting that left ear, grounding it. Relax the shoulders, let them fall towards the ground. And start to relax the entire body. Relax the muscles. Let's gently turn the head back to center. And just taking a neck stretch on the other side. This time the right ear is going to ground. Turning your head to the left. Make sure the shoulders are relaxed. Relax the jaw, the face. Slowly turn the head back to center. Floating the arms out in front of you, palms facing down. Let that forehead touch. And just getting a stretch throughout the entire body here. And then let's start to make our way into our Sphinx pose. So start to bring those elbows, walk them in, stacking the shoulders over the elbows, creating a little base with the forearms. Spread those fingers, relax. Take the legs mat's width. Shifting your awareness to the lower back, the spine. So keeping the gaze straight ahead, or maybe close the eyes. Check in with the shoulders, make sure they're not lifted up, tensing up. And check in with the legs, make sure you're not tightening the legs to lift the body, upper body up. Try to come into a nice, relaxed state. Take the intensity out. And think about a string being attached to the front of your chest and the crown of your head, and I'm pulling both of them, so puffing the chest forward and lifting through the crown. Just notice where those sensations travel to in the back. Keep the neck neutral. If you want to come into your seal pose, slowly start to transition by lifting the elbows, the forearms up off the ground. And if at any time this gets to be too much, just make your way slowly back to Sphinx pose. Don't lose your alignment, relaxing the shoulders. Relaxing the legs. Taking one more deep inhale. And exhale, slowly release, lowering the elbows, the forearms. Come all the way down, let the chest come all the way down. Forehead touches. Slide the palms outside the chest, elbows to the sky. Push into the palms, lifting up, coming into your tabletop slowly. Let those heels come to, the hips come to the heels, back into your extended child's pose. Stretch it out. And let that forehead touch. Slowly bring the arms alongside the body and inhale, come up to a seated position. So coming into a seated position, we're going to come into our little toe stretch here. So just be comfortable on your mat. So giving our feet a little love. So from here, just take the palms forward and knees are together. You're going to tuck the toes and just bring the hips on the heels. So start to come into a nice long spine by keeping the body relaxed. So you might instantly feel this in the feet, or maybe it will take a little bit of time, but eventually you'll start to feel a nice stretch. Maybe close the eyes. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, prayer hands to heart center. Inhale. And let's bend that left elbow. Take the right palm to the left elbow. We're just going to come into a little tricep stretch. So draw that left elbow behind the head. Just gently draw it towards the right side. Staying nice and lifted here. And then inhale, float both arms up. Let's switch that. The right elbow is going to bend, left palm to that right elbow. Draw it behind the head, gentle stretch. And release, float both arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. And let's float forward, releasing the toes. And just point and flex the feet a couple of times, maybe circle, just shake out those toes. I'm going to come into an ankle stretch, so a little counter stretch. So maybe start to walk forward slightly towards the top of your mat. And from here, you're going to sit the hips on the heels. Knees are together. And gently bring those palms behind you. So opening the chest to the sky. And float the shins off your mat, lifting the knees up. So just kind of find your way here. You might have to adjust those palms. So this should give you a nice stretch to the front of the ankles. So just gently lifting the knees up. If you feel pretty good, you could start to lower down, coming down onto the forearms, or just stay where you are. So just make this about the ankles, just getting a nice stretch here. Just wherever you are, breathe. And push the breath. Let's slowly release, lowering the knees. Walk those hands out in front. Come back to your tabletop and just bring some movement to the feet. Just kind of shake it out. Maybe tap the tops of the feet to the mat. And then from here, let's come back towards the back or center of the mat. We're going to come into our down dog. So tucking those toes, bend the knees, lift the hips up, and paddle the heels. Just walking it out here. And find your high plank. And then down dog. High plank. Down dog. High plank. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Let's flow through upward facing dog, stretching out the tops of the feet. Exhale, roll through the feet, down dog. And coming into our next yin posture, we're going to float into pigeon pose. So right leg's going to float up to the sky. Three-legged dog. Bend the knees, stack the hip, open it up. And from here, float that right knee over to the right wrist. Extend that left leg back. So take the modification if you have any knee issues here. Modification, you're going to lie on your back and do your figure 4. So before you go right into pigeon pose, start to kind of shimmy that right shin parallel towards the top of your mat, staying nice and lifted. Avoid caving into that right hip. Lift the heart, extend through the spine. Maybe come into a little back bend here. And then slowly start to ease into your forward fold. Stacking the forearms, or maybe extend both arms out, prayer hands, and just coming into your sleeping swan. So this is all about the hips. Bring your awareness to the lower body. And push the breath into that right hip. So remember, in our yin practice, we're not pushing, we're not working, we're breathing slowly, just helping the body go a little deeper. Just coming into a relaxed state and finding the pose with the breath. Taking one more nice deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. And slowly start to make our way back up. Releasing out of the pose. And from here, we're going to float the left leg around. And just come into a little gentle twist. So grounding that left foot, grounding the sits bone, sitting up nice and tall here. Take that left palm behind you and extend through the right arm, gaze up, and maybe cross that right elbow to the opposite side of the left knee. Just nice long spine. So again, just a gentle twist. Release, come back to center. Let's take it over for a counter twist just to the left. A little twist here. Come back to center. We're going to come into our shoelace pose. So shoelace pose is pretty intense. So one way to get into it, you're going to think about stacking your knees. So maybe walk the palms forward and then align the left knee on top of the right as best you can. And slowly let's ground, come into a seated position. Taking the hands to the ankles. So just ease into this. This is a really challenging pose for me. If you can't get the knees stacked, that's totally okay. Just do the best you can. So once you ground your sits bones, maybe start to bring the hands to the ankles, walk the shins out, and start to just sit up nice and tall. Maybe close the eyes and breathe here. If you're not really feeling any intensity here, to go a little deeper, you can start to make your way into a forward fold, bringing the forehead to the knees, knee to nose. So I'm just staying right here. So we're getting the outside of the hips here. Just push the breath into that tension, that resistance. Maybe release the hands, just grounding that left palm, float that right arm overhead, just coming into a side stretch. So this is just optional. And exhale, release, come back to center. Walk the palms behind you and let's uncross the legs, ground both feet, and just shake that out. So just taking the knees from side to side. Shake it out. And come back to center. So we're just gonna transition, make our way. Slide that left leg behind you, come back into your pigeon pose. Tuck the left toes so that left leg's behind you. Float the right leg up to the sky, three-legged dog. Stretch it out. Exhale, float it down. Hold here in your down dog, or feel free to float through a high plank. Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, down dog. So we're going to come into our pigeon pose, the opposite side. So left leg's going to float up first. Bend the knees, stack the hip, open it up. And definitely take that modification if you did on the other side, coming to line your back in your figure four. And float that left knee over to the left wrist. Extend through that right leg. Shimmy that left shin parallel to the top of your mat. So get your foundation first before diving into this pose. Inhale, lift through that spine. Maybe take a little mini back bend. And then lead with the hard forward fold. Taking the arms, stacking the forearms, or extending out in front. Just find your edge here and breathe. If you have the arms extended out front, option to bend the elbows, prayer hands slope behind the head. Just maybe taking some of the intensity out of the shoulders. And let this be about the hips. start to make your way back, walking onto the palms, lifting that body up. And let's come into our seated spinal twist. Float that right leg around. And cross that right foot over the left knee. And ground the sits bones first. Sit up nice and tall. And take that right palm behind you for support. Extend that left arm up. Gaze up. Reach and extend through the spine first. And then exhale. Cross that left elbow to the opposite side of the right knee if you can. Just gently twist that spine. Breathing here. Exhale, let's release. Come back through center. Take that counter twist to the left. And come back to center. We're going to come into shoelace pose, the opposite side. So again, it's a little easier, I find, to kind of come onto those palms, shift your body back so you're on your mat, and stack the right knee over the left knee this time. And then gently just walk your way back, coming to a seated position. Taking the hands to the ankles. So just do the best you can do here and walk those shins out. Try to get both sits bones grounded. And just breathe. Or if you feel pretty flexible here, go for that forward fold, forehead to knee. Just breathe through that resistance, that tension. Use your breath. One more last breath here, deep inhale. Exhale. And then option to ground that left palm, float that right arm, just coming into a side stretch. Try to push that right hip down towards the ground. Inhale, let's float back up to center and release. Take the palms behind you, uncross the legs. Ground both of those feet and just windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Shake it out. Let's come back to our pigeon pose. So that right leg's going to extend behind you. And the left knee is bent. Tuck the right toes, left leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Stretch it out. And float that left foot down to meet the right down dog. Option to hold here or flow through. High plank chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Lift your heart, relax the shoulders. Exhale, down dog. Two deep breaths. Maybe notice if the heels are a little bit closer to the ground. If that chest is closer to the ground. Hips a little higher. Lower back a little bit more open, the hips more open. And let's lift those heels, walk the feet towards the hands, coming to the top of your mat. From here, walk the feet hips width. We're going to come into our ragdoll. So shifting the weight towards the toes, lift the hips up, fold that upper body in towards the thighs. Taking hands to opposite elbows here, just let the body hang. So this is just like our seated forward fold, except standing. So just think about bringing that chest closer, folding the body, maybe swaying from side to side here. Or maybe rocking your doll forward and back. Try to relax through the feet. Feel those hamstrings lengthening. And then from here, really mindfully protecting the lower back. Use your leg strength, your core strength. We're going to start to turn over to the right and circle up to a standing position. So coming all the way up. Opening up, so really slow, turn and twist over to the left. We're going to circle around, all the way back down. One more time to the right. Inhale, turn. Keep the knees bent. Come back to center. We're going to go in the opposite direction over to the left this time. So circle around, push the feet into the ground. Inhale, lift, open up, twist to the right. Soft knees, circle around. Inhale. Open up that body. Exhale, circle around. Come back to center, back to your ragdoll. Release the hands. And we're going to lower down, all the way down to come to a seated position. So however you want to get there. Knees are bent out in front. Extend the arms, palms to the sky. Roll all the way onto the back, rolling through that spine. Float the knees into the chest when you come to lie in the back. From here, let's Bring the soles of the feet down, coming into a bridge pose. So arms alongside the body, palms are facing down, feet, knees, hips width apart. Inhale, float the hips up to the sky. Exhale, float the hips down. Inhale, hips up. Exhale. One more time, inhale out. Maybe this time lift the heels up. Maybe interlace the fingers, taking the shoulders underneath just to go a little deeper, or just stay with your bridge pose. Bring those palms together. Lift the hips up. Exhale, release, float the hips down. Float those knees into the chest. Let's take the palms to the tops of the knees. Circle those knees, just massaging the lower back, the hips. And reverse it. And coming in for our happy baby pose. Take the arms inside the thighs. Peace sign fingers wrap around the big toes. Flex the soles of the feet. Open up the hips. Rock from side to side. Extend through the knees. Feel those hips grounding, the shoulders, the back. Start to relax the jaw, the face. When you're ready, bring the soles of the feet together, coming into Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly pose. Float the arms overhead. Diamond shape with the legs. And just let those knees, hips open up. Cactus the arms. Close the eyes. Taking that left palm onto your heart and the right palm onto the belly. Just come back to the natural breath. Feel your breath. Feel that life force, that prana flowing through your body. With each breath, it's an opportunity for a new birth, a new chance as we're heading into our spring. New beginnings. whenever you're ready, feel free to go right into Shavasana, extending the legs, the arms. Take up a lot of space here, feel really open. Finding stillness here in the body and mind. We'll slowly start to bring your awareness back. Maybe bring some movement into the toes, the fingers, the hands, the feet. Inhale, float the arms up overhead. And bend the knees. And gently roll onto your side. Taking some breaths here. And when you're ready, just make your way back to a comfortable seated position. Maybe keeping the eyes closed, sitting up nice and tall, roll the shoulders back, closing out our practice with 3 cleansing breaths. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Inhale. Exhale, let it go. Thank you so much for joining me for your practice today. And thank yourselves for showing up for yourself, for your health, your well-being. Continue to make positive and healthy decisions, always being good to yourself, gentle, kind, respectful. May there always be peace in your heart, peace in your words, and peace in your mind. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Namaste. I hope you enjoyed your journey today. If you would like to see new classes, please remember to subscribe, like, visit our website at kavelalife.com, become a member on our Patreon account. By becoming a member, it allows us to create new classes. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Kavela Life. Thank you so much. Namaste.